Hi there. My name is Antonia, and I have written and will be directing the short one-act Man vs. Bear for the Fringe Festival, and I'm so glad that you're joining me on this theatrical journey because it's a play I just wrote, and it hasn't been workshopped or performed yet. So actually, I'm hoping to work together to actually test it out, tweak it, and create something actually funny. So the one act is actually based on that meme that was going around last year about if a woman was alone, alone in the woods, would she prefer to be around a bear or a man? And I thought that was a fruitful source of potential humor. So the objective of the play is to be funny. So that is a few of the things that we're going to work out together. And what that means really is that you have a lot of latitude in terms of improvisation, if you want to tweak the language, if you think that the words don't really work, etc. And that means we can co-create something together. There are 4 characters. The main character is woman. She's basically supposed to be an every woman type character. Whereas man, who's another main character, is a very specific type of man. So that's the 2 major differences between the 2 leads. That one is supposed to represent a lot of similar experiences that are experienced by women, whereas the man is actually supposed to tap into a very specific set of characteristics. This man should actually be played as a stereotype of a toxic male, but he's also supposed to be funny. Irritating, but funny. So as we work through the play together, if there are parts where it's not funny, we can really that is my main concern, to make sure that works at a humorous pace. The last 2 characters are Bear and Cub. Bear is also a female character, and Cub is also a male character. Both Bear and Cub don't really speak. They each have actually 1 line, I think, or maybe 2 lines tops. And most of their communication is actually intended to be through a kind of vocal design process that we're going to actually do together. If you've ever seen the Scooby-Doo series, that is actually one of the ideas I had, is that how does Scooby-Doo actually convey the message he wants to communicate without actually saying the words. Now, there are also very famous bear characters in media, like Baloo in the Jungle Book, Yogi Berra, Yogi Bear, sorry. Yogi Bear is the baseball dude. And of course Winnie the Pooh, but they all speak and have words. So it is a possibility that we could actually infuse more words into Bear and Cub's lines, but I do want to kind of develop physicality and a vocalism that conveys meaning without using actual language. And that is something we can design together. I have a few links that I will add about the design of the physicality of the bear using the physical animal theater technique. And then for the vocal design stuff, this is actually where working together we can really create something. It is mainly the responsibility of the Bear and the Cub actors to work together to develop this, with me, of course, and also maybe anybody else who wants to volunteer. So characters like woman and man and the actors portraying them can also give input to that design process. So that is the rundown. So 2 other features on the Bear and the Cub. The Bear is played by a woman, and I think more importantly, the Cub played by a man, but a young man. And he actually stands in kind of relief to the main character, so that the Cub actually portrays positive male characteristics like empathy, willingness to support, and all of these kinds of things. Yes. Okay. So the time is supposed to take place over 1 day. And the setting is really a contiguous setting. Basically, it starts by a road where there's a bench and a bus stop. And the first scene is basically the man and woman both waiting, strangers to each other, both waiting for a bus to come by. And basically, the man starts to harass the woman. And the woman basically leaves that to avoid issues. And that transitions along the road. So the road is the continuous point of reference within the entire one act, but it transitions, you're further along the road as we go from scene 1 to scene 2 to scene 3. So scene 1 is along the road where it's at the bus stop and the bench. Road 2 is actually further along the woods, further along the road in the woods. There's also a bench there, but it's a different bench, no bus stop. So you've gone a little bit into the woods. And then the third one is basically all the way into the woods, and there's another bench, but it's further along the road and you're deeply in the woods. And so what happens is the bench is actually going to just change position as you go through. It's almost like it's moving down the road. It's actually different benches, so we might make that indicated by, I don't know, flowers or something. It'll be fairly basic. So basically each scene you're just moving the bench further along, adding trees, removing the bus stop sign. In terms of lighting, the lighting is basically fairly straightforward except in scene 1. So scene 2 and scene 3, the lighting is very straightforward. Scene 1, I'm kind of envisioning that there's a moment where there's the conversation between the man and the woman where their lights are fully up. And then there are moments where the woman is verbalizing her internal thoughts, where that means the house lights go down and the spotlight is just on the woman. Fairly straightforward. Let's see. Anything else? Sound cues. So there are 2 sound cues within the actual one act, and this is something I'm not sure about, so we can really collaborate on this together, whether this is appropriate. The first sound cue is really where, with the introduction in the bear and the cub, so when they're just being themselves, mom and kid, hanging out, eating food, playing games, doing laundry, and there's a song, and it's the song The Bare Necessities from The Jungle Book. There's a couple of different ideas here. We could just pipe the song through the speakers, and bear and cub can just dance together while they're hanging the laundry. It could be, and it would be not the whole song because the song's quite long, so it'd be the short part to it. I would say no more than 30 to 45 seconds. Or it could be that we don't pipe it at all and bear and cub actually sing the words. This would be a little bit of a departure from the vocal design, but it could be just, again, like 45 seconds, 30 seconds of the song singing while you're hanging up the laundry. The other sound cue is actually at the very end, where there's a happy ending, of course, and the bear and the woman and the cub are creating a new family unit. And while the cub is, making sure the man doesn't hurt anybody else, the bear and the woman are smooching. And the song that pipes over the speaker at the end for the finale is "I'm Every Woman." Now, again, this is up to us to decide whether that's a really fun way to end. I think it would be funny because what I envision is that the man is being chased around the stage in like a little loop by the cub, while the bear and the woman stand in the middle holding hands while the song plays. Now, in terms of costumes, basically, woman wears anything she wants, basically, but I probably would also recommend something like a backpack or etc. But it's all optional, and it's up to us to design those costumes together for women. I would say the one thing that is really important for women is to have headphones and a book, and probably a backpack to put the book into when she leaves. Then for the man, I would also suggest he wears whatever he wants. I think there is, for a toxic male stereotype, there's probably a little bit of a uniform. Not quite sure what that would be, but it would be something that's pretty, maybe not, does not stand out. So it's something we can design together. The actor who plays man can also come up with a lot of suggestions, very interested in that. Now, for bear and cub, there's a couple of different things I've been playing with. There are some bear costumes available on Lazada, and they look decent. Anna and Saki are also going to look through the costumes wardrobe and see if there's anything appropriate, which there might be. I think the issue here is like, how do we want to convey the physicality? Because the alternative can be just, makeup design with, for bear, or like paws, etc. So I think that'll also go into maybe looking at the physical animal theater workshop videos that I will share, because there they do mimic the animals without costume. So it's also something we can discuss together, where would it be better to have the costume or not? And that's also true for cub. The other thing for cub is that I do envision that he will also have a teddy bear. So he is a bear and he has a teddy bear. And I have that prop as well, because cub is young. I'm not quite sure if he should be super young, and that is also something we can discuss, because is he a baby? Is he a teenage boy? And that is something we can also discuss together. So that's costumes, settings, lighting, sound cues. So that's it. I would say that we start really by going through and doing a read-through. That could be an option. We start with a read-through, and then we really break it down. In terms of schedule and availability, I am traveling actually for work until May 6th. So I am going to record a few videos like this and upload them to YouTube, but also perhaps I can be available. I am going to be in Papua New Guinea, and some of that I'm actually going to be in areas of rural areas of Papua New Guinea that don't have internet, which means that I'll have to be very specific. I do have my schedule, so I'll be able to share that. So if we do want to get together via WhatsApp video or Zoom to discuss, that would be great. That is possible. But otherwise, I envision basically once I get back on May 6th, we start really workshopping and breaking down the piece together, improving it, practicing it, and then given that some of us are also in other productions, we're going to have to try to find a schedule that works. If we can't all work together, I do advise that man and woman practice together, and bear and cub practice together, and then the other, because there are interactions between cub and man, bear and man, and of course woman and bear, that we will have to explore. So after the vocal design of the bear and the cub is agreed upon, bear and woman can practice together as well. So those are the different options. And then we can try and work maybe Mondays, Wednesdays, and then maybe Saturday mornings, Sunday mornings, etc. So we will try to match all of the schedules, and I think it will work very well, and I'm very excited to work together. Thank you so much.